Hi, welcome to the Cupcake Fox channel. My name is Namu, and if you don't like my narration, you can mute me and play your own damn music. So we're going to jump right on into this build. It is a $1 million mansion using only base game material. It took me for freaking ever to build. Every room took me like from 30 minutes to an hour to build. There is 12 hours of footage in here that I had to condense down. We are watching this at 20 times the speed, so if this is really nonsensical to you, then sorry. This house comes in at 1 million simoleons. Actually, it comes in over that. It's 1,144,821 simoleons on the market. You can if you have The Sims 4, you can place it because it doesn't use any expansion packs. That was really, really difficult to do. There are a crap ton of violins in here, the most expensive violins. I mean, it's not an unreasonable amount. I did not add any extra violins just for the sake of money. I mean, okay, technically every single every single violin that I added was because it is very, very expensive. However, I didn't add any violins where I thought it wouldn't look nice. I didn't add any unnatural looking violins, if you will. I got to the end of this, into like the top floor that I was building, the last few bedrooms that I had to build, and I was worried that I would have to add like just random violins just to up the property value, but no, the violins I added were enough. And it's not, if you go inside this house, I promise it's not just a bunch of violins in there to bring it up to 1 million simoleons. I really did my best to make a coherent, pretty looking build, and you can decide for yourself if you like it or not. It will be on my what's it called? It will be up on the Sims gallery. You can find me there. I think I'm the Cupcake Fox. I will link it anyway, or like put up my name or something. Half this property is a pool and fountain and garden and lawn, and isn't actually a house. So that actually limits the amount of money that I could spend on the inside by a lot, because I just wanted it to look super nice from the front, and I wanted a luxurious pool and fountain scenario going on. And so that meant that I had to somehow take this. It's only a 50 by 40 property. It is an Oasis Springs. It's up in the top left corner, and if you don't want to destroy any properties, you actually don't have to. I built on a property that had not been built on yet, so you don't have to. It's not like one of those parks that is 64 by 64. You don't have to destroy like the land grab mansion. The land grab house is huge. It's still a whole 1 million simoleons, and it is just on the base game property without destroying anything. So I'm really happy that I actually managed to do that. For a minute there, I thought I wasn't going to be able to make the $1 million count, and I would just make a really expensive mansion that wasn't all that special and was only base game. But instead, I really did manage to fulfill the challenge. I'm proud of myself for that. I don't need to be super humble about that, I don't think, because it was really hard, and I hope you can appreciate it. I hope that you like it too. I put a sink out here, which I think is kind of funny, but I kind of liked the way it looked. I thought it could be handy. There is a bar on the other side of the patio, but I don't think you're likely to want to walk across the patio to use a sink, but I guess if you really had to, you could. I don't know. I guess I was thinking about like bird baths and stuff like that, but instead it's a human bath, and it's just for your hands. Human hand bath. They call it sinks. I tried to put a staircase on every single balcony, but because the balconies are different sizes and the floors are different sizes, like they're different heights, it was really inconvenient to try and plan out staircases. Staircases in this mansion was actually not very easy for me. Not the hardest part of building it, but it certainly was not super easy. A lot of the time I'm using the most expensive item that I can find, so the staircases I think they're the most expensive staircase. But sometimes just for stylistic choice, I do not choose the most expensive staircase, and I do not choose the most expensive item, and I have to find some other way to up the value on the house. Back in the backyard, there is what Deligracy calls a conservatory, which I've never been in a mansion before. I've never been in a rich person's home before, but I understand that those are sometimes in them. I thought it was very cool. If you watch any of her videos, or if you've watched the $1 million build that she has, this is pretty much like I'm pretty sure it's just the exact same as what she built, except for she was using the Get Famous packs and I am only using base game. So I had to build that marble floor myself. In any case, it's like exactly like hers. She said it, yeah. She said it was common in rich people's homes, so I wanted to build one too. But I don't actually know what they're supposed to look like, so it just kind of looks like hers. Hers is really pretty. I hope she doesn't watch this video, actually, because hers is probably way nicer than mine. Here I am putting in diagonal marble, and then I actually go and destroy it and just do regular checkered. So cool. I'm glad I wasted my time with that. Out in this front area, I guess I'm just going to do some gardening. I don't enjoy gardening in real life, and I don't like plants in real life, so I don't really know what people like about landscaping. Also, I have an apartment, and there is no garden. I'm on the second floor. You could have a whole bunch of plants on your balcony, but I would much rather have, apparently, boxes and a patio set. Yeah. I like the palm trees because they match what's going on with the rest of the neighborhood. That's also why I chose orange for this building. I actually don't like orange very much, but it matches the neighborhood. This room is really interesting. Okay, so it's a front entrance room, and I later decide to relocate it. I really liked the design that I had for it so far, with the closet and everything, the open closet, but it's kind of stupid to have these big open windows just looking in on like an entrance area that you spend no time in. So I instead later will be moving this and putting in like a nice seating area. I like to call this front entrance area. I relocate the front door too. I like to call this front entrance area the like flex area, where you kind of flex about how much money you have. It's really show-offy. It's meant to be spacious, to just kind of show off, oh, I have a lot of space. The sacrifice to that is if you're showing off how much space you have, you're not actually filling it with expensive items. So if you're doing $1 million build, it's actually really inconvenient to create big empty spaces. Regardless, I really do enjoy when there's a lot of room to walk around and to see. I don't really like clutter. My apartment, sometimes I'm messy and so it looks like there's clutter, but I actually don't have too many things. I live not far from Universal Studios, so chances are I'm going to actually end up with a whole bunch of Harry Potter merch. However, at this time, my apartment is not cluttered at all, and I'm in my office, and there's nothing in here. You might even be able to hear the echo. So anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about clutter when I'm trying to build a bathroom here, but there you go. Or when like the bathroom is being built I'm not building this fast. Don't worry. If you thought I was building this in real time. It's sped up. It's sped up 20 times. There's 12 hours of footage of me building, and I had to speed it up that much. It did take me 12 hours, and that doesn't count the times that I had to restart the property because I started building and then I decided I didn't like how the building was going, and then I just destroyed it all, which is actually common practice for me. I'll just scrap entire houses if I don't like the way it looks. Here I am putting up more windows. I love windows. If you think that there are too many windows, then you should just block me right now because I will add more and more windows. You will never escape my window craze. I don't know what I'm doing next, otherwise I would start talking about it. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm gonna do next because I kind of zoom in and out all over the building, and I'm not used to, I guess, building things room by room. I'm not sure how I build things normally, but certainly I don't do it in an organized fashion. I'm sure I'm gonna be, yeah, here we are rotating the rooms because, wow, it got really messed up. Because I wanted to be able, like I said, this is the flex area and you're supposed to be able to show off how much money and space you have. So there's going to be a nice seating area that looks out over the property. And I think that looks much better. Even from outside, it looks much better to have the house on the inside looking like this. And, I definitely appreciated being able to move the door to the bathroom so that I have the two mirror symmetry again when you walk in. So there's going to be a bar in this room, and there's going to be bars all over the place. And in fact, there is a bar out on the balcony, or there will be in just in a hot minute. And I just put bars all over the place in this house because, I don't know, if you have a lot of money, maybe you do a lot of drinking or you serve a lot of drinks. Maybe you don't do any drinking whatsoever, but in any case, you have the option here and you can hire bartenders all over your house. The entertainment side of the house is usually on the right side. By that I mean like you could lock some of the doors are archways, so you can't lock them, but there are a lot of options for locking doors and just kind of segregating where you would have guests and where your Sims would do their day-to-day living. I appreciate that because I don't want guests running all over my house and in my Sims bedrooms and like on my computer and doing all the weird things that they tend to do, and they just make themselves at home. Whereas if I do that in their home, like I get in trouble, which is really annoying, unless you have the always welcome trait. I individually go around and recolor each lamp by hand. I think that's just I mean, when you have a house this big, you kind of do have to go and check on every single floor individually. You see me open up the gallery a lot to look at the house. I wanted to make sure that it looked nice from the front. If I added something that made the design look kind of wonky or like not as realistic or not as good looking, then I tend to delete it. And so that's what I'm doing there. It also proves useful in the future because I actually I've moved in a sim onto this property and used motherlode and cheats so that I can have a million simoleons and build it. Which means that I'm actually switching into live mode and testing out the different furniture because I'm not used to using move objects, and I just was super paranoid about items not working or being inaccessible or unusable. So you'll see me switch over to live mode frequently and like making my sim go over there. He's actually just a randomly generated sim. I don't even know his name. I do like him though because he's wacko. He's a design that I would never ever use because he's randomly generated, and that's just not my style. Randomly generated kind of is my style, but like his style of clothing I would never even dream of using. Curtains, I love adding curtains in The Sims because they're so extra. They have no purpose. I guess in real life I do use curtains to block out the sun so that I can be my little secluded, isolated version of me. But definitely in The Sims they have no purpose. In fact, if they block off light, that's not really good. In The Sims 3, if there wasn't enough light, then your Sims would get upset. I like this room. There is going to be a violin in this room, the most expensive violin. I do put that expensive violin all over the place. It is worth 15,000 simoleons. I know you might think of it as kind of like copping out and being like just taking the easy road, but trust me, this was not an easy build, and I did put in a dozen hours, literally 12 hours into building it. And I don't put any, like I said earlier, did I? I don't think I said earlier. Anyways, I don't add violins into places where I didn't think they had a place. So I always make sure that they kind of have their own little spot so that they can be featured and showcased. So it's basically like if you wanted to hire a musician, it looks nice. And they have like their own little space to perform in. I don't add violins just for the sake of adding violins. Technically I do because I needed the expensive item, but really, like, honestly, they have a certain place and delegated space for them. This is the dining area, if that wasn't super obvious already. I'm just struggling to decide how I should fill the room. And those dishes on the side there, they are definitely super expensive. I love putting mirrors in rooms. So the thing with rooms is if they end up kind of narrow or in a weird shape or in a weird space and you feel like there's not a lot of room, if you add mirrors to it, you can make the room look bigger. I don't think that works super well in The Sims. It's definitely a real life tactic that you can use to make a room look big is adding mirrors, like mirrors spanning across the whole wall, because it just looks like the room expands further. And so I do that in The Sims sometimes. It only works if you're zoomed in with walls up, which is not how I play the game, so that's just silly. I wanted to mention Miss Griffey. She's a huge experience for me. She's a huge influence for me. She is an inspiration. That's the word I was looking for. She has the cutest, most gorgeous builds I've ever seen in my life, and she always has a narration and an imagination as to like what kind of Sims would be living in the house. She can go down to like such great detail about like what she imagines the people living there are like and why they moved in or why the house is built the way it's built. And I just love listening to her build. I spend a lot of time at home by myself, which is honestly how I prefer it. But in order to make sure that I'm not just listening to the voices in my head, I will often turn on a YouTuber and listen to them while I do whatever project I'm doing. And in this case, I was listening to Miss Griffey build as I built. It was like we were building together. That's just my life. That's how I like it. That's fine. So this is the conservatory. I actually don't have a lot of experience with landscaping. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but I definitely don't. Oh, I love putting these fans in. I never really noticed them before. I love that they really do spin. I live in a really warm place, so having fans all over the place and air conditioning is a must. And so it's kind of fun to have fans in the Sims. I wish there was like a ceiling fan that was also a light at the same time, but I can deal. Adding some more landscaping. Miss Griffey did a really expensive build once, and she said if you want to bring up the price on a property, you can do some landscaping. I do think that this applies a lot more if you're using all of the packs, but I was just using base game, so this is the kitchen. I actually don't love how cramped the kitchen is. It's just kind of crammed in the back there, but I didn't really feel like building a kitchen upstairs or downstairs, and I really liked the way the dining room and living room and all the other rooms turned out. So basically, I feel like if a family were to live here, it's still a spacious kitchen. There's lots of room there. Like, I would personally love to cook in a kitchen like this, but it just seems like it's not a big focal point, and you're kind of separated from the rest of the house if you're cooking. So I think people who lived here would hire catering services a lot, or they would get like a cook or a butler or something. Somebody else would be cooking for them, because it would be hard to be cooking in that kitchen and also entertaining guests at the same time. This is the first time I've used those decorative balconies on the outside, but I like the way it looks even from the inside. Here I am designing the front patio. I use like this colorful carpet in there. It's really bright. It's not very subtle at all, but I adore it. I think it's super cute. I love adding, this is the first time I've really like taken the time to make a place more cluttered. I prefer, like I said, non-cluttered areas, but because I needed to hit a certain price point, I decided I would go into like extreme detail and make sure that there's a lot of room. The reason why I don't usually love having cluttered surfaces in The Sims, not just because that's not how I live my real life, but also because the main Sim that I play is Boba Fett, and he's got a lot of money, and he also has a lot of collectibles. So if I fill up the shelves, or if I buy a place and all the shelves and the surfaces are filled up already, there's actually no room for the stuff that he's already collected, so it's not actually very practical for me to fill up counters and tables and stuff. Regardless, I do that in this house because I don't have access to his collectibles, and if I use buy debug, they actually don't cost anything, so it would be impractical for me to not fill up the counters and tables and stuff. Now, I'm starting construction on the downstairs. This is a full-size gym. I think with the exception of a few toilets, I didn't add, like, there's only one bathroom and it's in another room. You could just take the basement and put it on a property and call it a gym, and it's pretty much done. I feel like that's just something, if you have a lot of money and you have extra space and you have a basement that has a lot of space, you're probably going to have some gym equipment down there. It's cooler down in the basement, so it's a good place to work out. There are lockers in there, like as if people, like, what? That's wild. I know I built it, but like I am actually surprised and laughing now that I'm looking at it. It's kind of funny. I put up mirrors on both sides. I feel like in The Sims, if you put mirrors like that across from each other, they're actually perfectly parallel, like down to the pixel, which I think in real life, if you got mirrors perfectly symmetrical like that, perfectly facing each other, I think that's impossible, because there would always be like this tiny molecule of a difference off. If you got it perfectly symmetrical like that, I've always believed that like you would open up a dimension into another world and like demons would come through the mirror. Like I really am afraid of putting mirrors facing each other like that. Yeah, that's super crazy, but I don't have any excuses. That's just how I am. Put a bunch of fans in there. They're rotating, they're big, they're gonna get in the way of you viewing it, but they're just working out down there. There's a lot of space, you'll be fine. I really can't imagine having a gym without air conditioning and lots of fans. it would also smell really bad. I like this little area downstairs. It is like a bar and lounge and bedroom area. This is the largest bedroom in the house. It's got the largest closet too, and I find that kind of weird. However, at the same time, when I was young, I had a friend who had a basement bedroom, and because the basement was hardly used and people hardly ever went down there, she was allowed to just kind of have free reign over the place, and they put a bed down there, and it was the largest room in the house. I don't know why they would give up that free real estate like that. I will say that where I'm from, I'm living in Florida right now where it's really hot, but I'm from a rainy place, and there weren't, despite that one friend, there actually weren't that many basements, or like, I'm not used to being in basements, because every time somebody had a basement, like every winter, they'd be like, oh, it rained and it flooded my basement, and my basement is full of water, and there's a whole bunch of water damage, and it's just really inconvenient. So pretty much nobody has basements. I'd never build with them. I always thought they were impractical because they would always flood. I like the closet in there. Closets is an idea that I didn't have. I felt like The Sims 4 doesn't really have many options for making closets, but then in the Get Famous pack, a lot of the, like in Judith Ward's house, she's got like some rooms that are just dedicated closets, and I think that's really extra and pretty cool, but really extra. I don't think I'd ever want to live in a mansion, because I much prefer to have like practical spaces that serve certain purposes, and I don't want to have like a whole bunch of empty space. I feel like there are just other things I'd like to spend money on or invest in, like scholarships and stuff for other people so that they can go to school to make up for the fact that I didn't finish university. Hopefully the rest of the world can just be educated. So I'd much rather, if I had a whole bunch of extra money, I feel like I'd much rather do that. Also Harry Potter merchandise, that'd be sweet. Those are the two things I want to spend money on right now. Scholarships for other people and Harry Potter merchandise for me. So I don't need a lot of space. Here I am just finishing up the gym downstairs. I do like that lounge area. It's kind of dark, but it's in the basement. I was gonna say it's kind of an intimate place. So like this balcony here that I'm building would be an okay place for if you have Get Famous pack and for some reason are downloading wow, that was wild, and you're downloading a base game mansion for some reason. There's this option to have fan meet and greets. And so you have like a whole bunch of people that you don't necessarily know very well and you don't want to touch or anything, and you have them over at your house to get more celebrity status. That downstairs basement kind of lounge area I feel like is more for people you do know personally, like your actual friends who you want to be in close quarters with. I like that outdoor TV set. I've never had a TV outdoors, but it's a nice undercover area, and we're in Oasis Springs where I don't think it'll rain much, so yeah, I feel like it's okay to have that TV outdoors. This is the upstairs balcony. So this is another place where you can have like guests over, like just a whole bunch of guests, not necessarily like your best friends. I feel like being rich means having a lot of like weird people in your life that you know. Maybe not. I mean, I guess you could be like a really rich hermit like Bruce Wayne. That's, I guess, more ideal for me as an introvert. Now I'm building, I don't know, I'm jumping all over the place, I guess. I don't usually try to build things in a really organized fashion. Oh, by the way, okay, those doors like disappeared on me. It was really inconvenient. I love this bathroom. It's green and brown, I think is the color scheme, and it's kind of different than what I'm used to for bathrooms. I throw in I was just testing to make sure that the violin looked nice, or it looked nice when there's a performance there, so that if you hire a musician, it looks nice. Here's another spot for performing violins. Oh, look at me just adding the violins. Gotta get that price up. Oh, I love having canvases, because painting is just a nice way to make money. Not that, if you're buying this house, you probably aren't desperate for simoleons, but it's a really nice skill to have. Okay, so anyway, back to this bathroom. It's spacious. I have two wardrobes facing each other, and like the mirrors. Oh, those shelves. I really love those shelves. I think they're super cute. I get that they have plates and that they're meant for a kitchen, but I really enjoy having them in bathrooms because we don't have a lot of options for bathroom shelving. So yeah, I like this little change area where like you can stylize yourself. You get out of the bath and then you can like look through your wardrobes. This is not attached to a bedroom, so I guess that's kind of weird now that I think about it, but I like it still. I put up these decorations. There's only like, I think 4 different items there, including the Kleenex box, which it's kind of weird to have the Kleenex box there now that I'm reflecting on it properly, but regardless. Again, I don't usually use clutter because I'm usually playing as a sim who has a lot of collectible items, and so I need there to be not clutter so that I can put his things everywhere. Regardless, that's what I end up doing there. I do like the way it looks. I'm sorry if you don't. Put some portraits there. I'd love to put some like family portraits there. However, I didn't have access to that, so I put in apple and pear, which doesn't make sense for a bathroom. But the idea is that it would actually be a family portrait if you were in the bathroom there. I guess, is that weird? I don't know. You're like taking a relaxing bath and you just got your family pictures next to you. I don't know. Mirrors weren't fitting there, so I had to move up the shelves. I'm fine with that design. Really, really high cabinets. Like you had to get up on a ladder to get up to the top there, but that's okay, I'm sure. Just don't put anything up there. Put in like bathroom things that you don't use that often. Here's a little home theater. I've actually built home theaters before. I have a house up on the gallery. I think it's fully furnished, and there is a little theater in there. Oh geez, it started rotating. That was scary for me at the time, and it was scary to watch again just now. So I like the idea of home theaters. It's, I don't know, just is what it is. It's actually just an enlarged TV because there is no base game huge TV. So I just kind of deal with that. I guess I went to live mode there again, and I just turned down the brightness on those. I prefer it to be dim. I don't think it affects a Sim's happiness to be in a dim room anymore. It used to. In the Sims 3, Sims used to get kind of freaked out if they were in a dark room. This bathroom is cute. It's white and light blue, and it is attached to a bedroom. It is attached to the bedroom that I consider to be the violinist's bedroom. So there are a bunch of violins all over the house, and I figured that at least one Sim in the house would be efficient or competent at violin. And this is her bathroom. I do picture her to be a girl. It is a, pastel blue and white color room kind of thing, or like baby shell, sky blue. No, not sky blue. Baby blue. I don't know what color I'm trying to say, but essentially it's like a pale blue. It could be a boy if you want, but I pictured my violinist being a girl, probably because my sister played violin in my house. So that's what I was thinking about, I guess. So this bathroom, I believe it has marble floors. I see that it's tile, but I'm pretty sure I switch it back to marble. I'm not 100% sure. Because I like the way that the marble has like big squares rather than tiny ones. There it is, marble now. There is a fireplace in this bathroom, which I consider pretty rad, but I'm also pretty afraid of because in my experience, fireplaces just set fires. That's all they're good for. I just really wanted there to be fireplaces in this build, and for there to be a chimney and for the chimney to make sense. So there are a lot of fireplaces in this building, and I do like the way they look. I am very afraid of them going off. Like I'm afraid of them setting fire to everything. Oh, I love those cherry blossoms. I keep on forgetting about them because I feel like they don't match, or they have a certain like aesthetic to them that I wasn't going for. But then when I put them in, I always find them so pretty. And I'm like, oh shoot, I've squandered this opportunity to use cute things. Another thing that so these desks you'll find all over the building, and they have expensive computers at them. That is another way to bring up the price. Sims, it's a really good way for Sims to have fun, and computers have a lot of functions, obviously. Adopting and writing and studying and doing research. A lot of work requires you to go on the computer. Kids can build skills on the computer, so there are practical reasons to have a lot of computers. However, the reason why there are so many computers in my house is because they are expensive, and I need to bring up the price somehow to fulfill this challenge. I don't know. You can try and do a base game $1 Million Mansion on a 50 by 40 lot and tell me how easy that is. I don't need to be defensive. I'm just telling you the strategy that I had to meet the requirements. This room, I designed every room to my own tastes, so I should like them. What I like about this room is that I went into live mode and dimmed the lights, and I turned them blue. So even in broad daylight, it's kind of a dim room. I don't know why I like that. I guess it's kind of like a club look. It is another room that I imagine you would have guests in. This is kind of like a study room. There is a TV there. I don't know what to make of that. I guess I do like to have no shortage of TVs because they're not too disruptive for Sims. They are disruptive to me. I get distracted by TVs all the time. However, for The Sims, it's just kind of nice to have like an area where you can sit around and watch TV together. And I usually forget them in most houses. I don't know why. I guess in real life I don't deal with TVs very often. I'm usually in front of a computer. This office is pretty cool in that you can sit at those desks. You could be just browsing YouTube videos like you're doing now, perhaps, and you would be sitting in front of like these huge glass windows overlooking your entire property. There's also a kids area there. I don't know if you'll have kids in this mansion. There is a couple like kids bedrooms upstairs, or like one kid's bedroom, quote kids unquote bedroom, is, I think it is like somebody, he or she could be a teen, and it used to be like their childhood bedroom, and now they've kind of grown a little older. I mean, I guess they're kind of like 11 maybe in my mind. You'll see it coming up. This is a purple bedroom. I'm a big fan of purple. I was happy with the curtains and even the bedspread. I do try to make each bedroom have like its own vibe. So even though I am using pretty much the same bed in almost every single room, I do want each room to look unique so that it's not all just looking like, say, the violinist's bedroom. The purple bedroom kinda, you could say, is a lot like the violinist's bedroom, but yeah, it's got the marble floor. It is another bedroom with the most expensive bed and a fireplace in the room with marble flooring. So it is a lot like the downstairs bedroom. However, I do like it. I think its purpleness adds its own it has its own character to it. And the sword and shield, I don't know why. The purple bedroom is also the artist's bedroom because there are canvases downstairs, and they have, instead of at their computer desk having an Alexa, they have a tablet that I didn't know existed. It is a drawing tablet. I don't actually know how it is to play it in the game. I don't know if it makes any sense to put it on the desk or not. But yeah, the purple bedroom is also the artist's bedroom. I kind of forgot about that. Here I am doing up a couple more bedrooms. Like I said, they are not as big as the basement bedroom, but they do each have their own character in my opinion. This room is the kind of the older kids room who's like maybe 11 or 12. I'm kind of remembering it now. And they have their own little computer desk in there, a computer table. It's kind of like a dining table that the family wasn't using, and they put it in their older kids' bedroom for their new computer or whatever. I love spacing those out and putting them next to each other. I don't know what else to say about that. And I like having bedrooms with wood flooring and then having like a rug underneath the bed instead of having a carpeted room. I couldn't tell you why. I like the way it looks. I like the way wood floors look. I only have carpet and linoleum in my house, so maybe that's why. This bedroom is totally different than any bedroom I've ever designed. It's a dark wood, and it's kind of yellow and brown is its color scheme, and there's a rug going to go underneath the bed that has a red accent on it, and I just think I would never normally build a room like that. I like that little wall that sticks out there and the little room separator thing that it has. I don't know, yeah, that seems really strange. I think I went in there and actually turned off the ceiling light. So if you want it back on, you can turn it on. But I like the way the room looks when it's dim. Again, there are just some rooms that I wanted to be dark. What am I building up here? This is a couple more. Oh, just one more desk, I think, in here. And an end table with some photos on it. So another little computer area. This room, yeah, there's really nothing special going on with it. It accesses the balcony in the back, which is how you get access to the roof, and there are some things on the roof in the end. I like those little portraits. This hallway, I don't normally like hallways because they're pretty extra. They don't serve a purpose. They divvy up a house. If you have a hallway, that means that all your rooms are walled off and it's not like an open floor concept, which I much prefer. However, I do like the look of that hallway because I added the mirrors, I think. This bed, I decided not to go with the most expensive bed because actually I preferred this style here with this compact little room. So I needed it to be the other bed. And I chose orange. I don't really like orange. I can't remember if I've said that already or not. But because this world, the Oasis Springs, tends to have a lot of orange going on in the architecture, I decided to challenge myself and actually build with some orange. And I do like the way this room turned out. It is blue and orange. Blue and orange are kind of opposite colors, so their contrast can look really good together. Yeah, so this is just a young kid's bedroom with a monster light. And I did check and make sure that it actually worked. So that's what that chaos was just there. I liked decorating this room. I liked the rainbow giraffe. I find that super cute. The blue and the orange, contrasting colors. I just find it's a really like colorful and bright room. In this classy mansion where it's mostly like woods and browns and stuff, it's really a contrasting room, and I appreciate that. Another canvas. It is nearby the purple bedroom, so the artist, if they are, if they get up and they want to go out and use like the canvas, they can. I kind of imagine that yellow room to be the room of like the head of the house. So if like mom and dad might have that room or something. I always picture like my Boba Fett family living in the house. So I imagine that's Boba Fett's room. Because that's all I play as. Oh man, I guess it'd be kind of fun to move Boba Fett's family in there. Boba Fett's family just got really huge by accident. Like, I accidentally had twins, and he accidentally had another kid that was a total surprise to me. I can't believe how sincerely surprised I was. Ooh, this is another really bright bathroom. I must have been like in a trance when I was designing this room, because this is really different from how I'd normally build bathrooms. But I enjoy it so much. I'm glad it turned out bright and stuff. I should do just an all bright build. I would love to. I'm probably going to do that next, even though I don't want to make this a sim building channel. Oh my gosh, when I opened up that gallery shot just there to check on what the house looked like, because I wanted to make sure adding lights on the top floor wasn't going to make it look super weird, and I didn't want it to be visible, and I wanted to make sure the telescope looked okay. But yeah, when I opened it up, that's when I noticed that I was finally over the $1 million mark, and I was actually almost going to panic, thinking that I'd have to add a bunch of like tacky violins all over the place where I didn't want to in order to meet the count, because I was so close. But actually, it's worth more than I thought, because I guess everything was, when you have a sim moved in, it counts as used, and so it doesn't accurately portray the property value. But looking in the gallery, it's over millions and millions. So I was really happy to make it. Here are some screenshots. I hope you enjoyed this build. I hope you did enjoy this commentary. It is really new to me, and I'm not used to creating like a Sims commentary at all, or talking for 40 minutes straight. If you're here for the Sims build and you're not used to my channel, then maybe you won't be expecting this video to end this way. However, this is my tradition now, and I'm not going back on it. So thank you for watching this video for my fucking YouTube channel.